known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers best bet or daily package for only $2.
Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk Today. I am Lawrence Presman. That man is Teddy Covers. And Teddy, 2 guests today, not 3. Skee Profit joining us right off the top. We're going to talk about the Miami-Tampa Bay game, the Golden State-Dallas game that goes tonight. We're going to delve into some WNBA and some baseball. And then we've got Carmine Bianco to look at both hockey games. I don't think we're missing a thing, bro. How are you? How was your night? What did you learn in the wonderful world of sports betting?
So we went 2-0 again last night. I mean, it's been a run for the ages, absolutely. And the 2 games were as different as they could be. I had the Celtics over the Heat, and that was as easy as it gets. It was 18-1 when I turned on the TV, Prez. And Miami never made a serious run in that ballgame. It was a true laugher, no sweat winner. You like those when they happen. You love those when they happen. The other game last night was the other side of that equation. I had the Padres over the Brewers. It was a tight game the whole way. The Brewers got out of a bases loaded, no one out jam in the 4th without a run score that kept them in the game. And then went into the 10th, and they had bases loaded, no one out in the 10th. And again, San Diego got them out of the jam. Heartburn game. And of course, the Padres walked off in the 10th after Machado struck out with the bases loaded, the chance to win in the 9th. The bottom line is you want right sides, okay? As many right sides, as many Celtics over the Heat that you can get, you'll put in your pocket. That said, you take all the coin flips you can get in your favor. And we certainly got one in that regard with San Diego last night. One more thing to talk about, Prez, in terms of what we learned last night. I said it on Monday, on yesterday's show. We were talking about the very worst beats in all of sports coming on unders. And the Pirates team total under 3.5 on Sunday when Yadi and Molina came out and gave up 4 in an 18-0 game in the 9th. Same story last night, man. Brutal for under bettors. Cards, Jays, under. Games 3-3 into the bottom of the 10th. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Anything but a walk-off grand slam for St. Louis cashes under bets. And, of course, Goldschmidt hits the walk-off grand slam, and the over cashes. Brutal for under bettors. That's where the very worst beats come, Prez. That's what I learned last night. How about you?
Well, I just want to say Marco had a 5% play last night on the Milwaukee Brewers. And I went 2-3 last night. I would have gone 3-2, but I had the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't know if you know, but they had the bases loaded. You already went through the soul. Anyway, the positive of Marco and I losing on the Milwaukee Brewers is that you won on the San Diego Padres.
Somebody got good. Something out of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way to go, man. Well, I watched The Express last night, the Ernie Davis. Is that his Ernie Davis story? First African-American Heisman Trophy winner. Really fun movie. Yeah, out of Syracuse. Yeah. I didn't know anything about the guy. I mean, as a Canadian, like that stuff wasn't really ingrained in us, the Heisman Trophy winners. But it was a fun movie. Watched it while watching hockey. I went 1-1 in hockey. Cannot believe that Tampa Bay swept Florida Panthers. It is just shocking to me. Florida Panthers put up, I think, 3 goals the whole series. This is the highest scoring team in the league. Anyway, Skee Profit's joining us. Yeah, go on.
Let me just ask you real quick, Prez. Does it make you feel better that your Leafs took this juggernaut to the wire and then fell short, and now they're sweeping Florida? Or does it feel worse that way?
No, honestly, Teddy, it makes me feel better. I mean, look, it's hard to win championships. You know, ask Chicago Cubs fans or Boston Red Sox fans who had to go like 100 bloody years. The bottom line for me is I said it right away. I said these were the 2 of the top 5 teams in all of hockey. and they met each other in the first round, and there's nothing you can do about it. It was a coin flip round. Leafs were on the wrong side of it, and now Tampa Bay is trashing everyone. So it'll be, but I don't think they're going to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, I'll tell you right now, and let me go look at the odds because I haven't looked in a while. But I'm telling you right now, I mean, Colorado, my opinion of the Colorado Avalanche. I don't see how
think Colorado is better than the 4-champion Edmonton Oilers with Wayne Gretzky and the 4-champion New York Islanders with Mike Bossy. And this Avalanche team that's yet to win a title, you said, is better than all of those, which
I know, but it's cheating.
You.
No, but it's cheating, Teddy, because any team in today's league would beat the Wayne Gretzky-led Edmonton Oilers. The athletes are bigger, stronger, faster. The systems are better. Sure. The coaches are better. The goalies are wearing equipment twice the size. So the Buffalo Sabres would beat the Mike Bossy-led New York Islanders. So it's not really a fair statement. But, man, I am ridiculously high on the Colorado Avalanche. Plus 140 to win the Stanley Cup. Man, I think there's value there. And that's insane given that there's still 7 teams left. Anyway, let's bring Skee Profits in to chat. Skee, I want to add to our hockey conversation.
I wish I could, I just watch and learn. I'm going to figure out and learn, maybe ask you guys what are the most important categories to pay attention so I can start handicapping, because I've heard hockey is very similar to baseball in that, it's very true to the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the true to the numbers part. I don't study both sports in an equal environment. Baseball, I'm like deep into numbers, and hockey is a lot of feel. But ultimately, Skee, I mean, hockey is one of those sports where a goalie can stand on their head and that's it. I mean, you just can't beat them. Imagine if, one of the tall basketball players just stood there with his hand over the inside of the net and there was no such thing as goaltending. I mean, that's how it works. Anyway, dude, welcome to the show. Love having you. You're the $2 Tuesday handicapper. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's get some actionable information underway right off the bat. You want to talk about Miami and Tampa Bay. You have a play for us. I hand the mic to you.
Yeah, I've been a little bit light on the baseball card just because I've been focused on the hoops, but I have been doing well. And for this one, what stands out to me is Pablo Lopez. He's a guy I'm always looking to back. I know he had he didn't have the best outing last time, but I think he can bounce back here where he had the 0.47 ERA on the road. His last 4 starts versus the Rays, I think they're batting below 200, somewhere around 188. And McClanahan, he's another guy that I think I trust. Looking at his last couple of starts, 14 innings pitched, he's only given up 1 run. I look at the Marlins, last 2 weeks, they're 29th weighted runs created plus versus left-handed pitching. I know Tampa Bay is somewhere around 18th, middle of the pack. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think either team played last night. So I think you should have a lot of good arms available out the bullpen if you need them. And I like this game under 6.5 runs.
So do you worry at all? Because Tampa's been hitting the ball of late. They've scored 6 or more in each of their last 5 ball games. So that offense has come to life, I should say. And Miami, too, who were really scuffling offensively for extended stretches this season, feels like the last 10 games, the last 5 games, they've been hitting the baseball better. Do you worry at all about the 2 lineups rounding into form with this low total? Or is this a situation where these are starters we trust, these are bullpens we trust, and let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this straight out. I don't know for sure, but I want to say when I was looking at this game, Marlins had kind of a lighter lineup today. And I'm always a big, believer in recent performance. But just certain guys, I think, are top-notch performers, top-notch pitchers. And I tend to have faith in those guys over, certain teams that are hot. So Pablo Lopez is one of those guys. And I just especially like backing him off of a bad performance. So that's really my look here.
Yeah, Skee, in regards to that total, under 6.5, I mean, for me, and we've spoken about this a million times on the show, I never bet, like anytime it's 6.5 or lower, I'm looking to play the over. It's the same in football. If you're gonna, the 55s, 56s, I don't want to take the lowest games under. Do you? Does that worry you at all? Because I know that's a trend that I back.
It doesn't worry me anymore. It used to bother me. I have a good friend, and I'll give him a shout out. He's a guy who only bets unders in games. My guy Noli knows. And what I've noticed, you try to learn from everybody, take a little bit of, something from everybody and put it into what you do. He targets those games with the lowest number because those are the games with the best pitchers out there. They're low for a reason. So I've seen him cash for years, betting under these low numbers. I've started to do it more this season, and I've had success. So, no, like the Corbin Burns of the world, his numbers continue to be low, and he keeps going under. So, no, when you have those good arms, I'm not scared of a 6.5.
So, Prez, is this you talking about your NFL theory or your college football theory, where if you take the three highest totals on the board?
Yeah,
I know, because you said that completely. So, please explain that properly.
Yeah, I completely mucked it up. I got caught gazing at the beautiful Skee Profits, and the mind went wobbled.
So why don't you clear it up?
I'm looking to bet like Skee's friend. What? Taya? No one knows. Nobody knows. Noli knows.
There you go.
I'm looking to bet the lowest unders under, the highest overs over. So I completely messed that up. So thank you for allowing me the clarification, Teddy, without jumping down my throat. You had a good night's sleep last night.
No, I was ready to jump down your throat, but in this instance, it wasn't. You just sometimes when we're talking, our tongues get tied and we don't make the points we're trying to make. It happens to me. It happens to you. It happens to Skee. It happens to everyone. So this wasn't an instance where you intentionally were trying to speak word salad.
No, I just mucked it up. Just mucked it up. It happens.
But the concept is bet the lowest totals under, bet the highest totals over. On the margins is where the totals are most vulnerable and where they're weakest. It's not the 8.5s and the 9s. It's the 6.5s and 6s. It's the 11.5s and 12s. That's where your totals. Maybe it should be a 14. Maybe it should be a 5. But the markets just don't go there.
I want to say honestly, guys, the past couple of years, like maybe even NBA, like the high totals have been flying over. It was a year where every total higher than like 235 up and over, and the totals less than 217 were under. So maybe it's like that for a reason in every sport.
Skee, it is like that in every sport. We've been talking about it for years on this show. There's no sport where you're immune to that because there's this psychological ceiling and barrier on these totals where, you're not seeing a 5.5 in baseball, no matter what. They just won't have them. And not only that, but then you have the amateur bettors looking at these numbers and going, wow, that's really low. We only need a 4-3 game and it'll go over. So there's a double whammy there. And it's something that I think everybody needs to really take seriously. You bet the lowest totals under, the highest totals over, you will make money. WagerTalk Today, everyone, the best gambling show on the planet. Anyway, John Clark, the time spent on this topic has gone way over. Funny, John. And we love you, man. You're a good dude. Skee Profit's got a 5% play up in the WNBA today. It is his first one ever. And he's rolling currently on a 41-25 WNBA run. That is our $2 play, guys. WNBA $2 bet. It's a 5% play. And also, Teddy, I don't know if you remember, last week we swept the board. The $2 Tuesday won, and all 3 of the Sports Memo plays won. Every Tuesday for $5, we give out 3 plays at Sports Memo. Today it's Mark Lawrence, Jesse Schlew, and Kevin Thomas. It's only $5. Skee, we got a basketball game going tonight. Dallas versus the Warriors. Golden State +1. What do you like in this game? Total, side, prop bets, anything?
Yeah, there's a couple things I like in this game. But first, I want to say, I've come on a few different platforms, throughout this series, before this series, and I talked about, how much better Golden State is than this Dallas Mavericks team, how I don't really see, how they can stop the Warriors offense. And I see different ways, the Warriors can scheme and defend against Luka. And that's what we've seen up until this point. I'm disappointed in myself, for thinking the Mavs could maybe do a little something in game 3. But now, with the Warriors up 3-0, you hear Steph Curry talk. He says, if you're playing with house money, I would take us and the Warriors. And that's kind of how I feel. Like, when you think about who you want your money on in the playoffs right now, it's the team who is going to give the most effort. And who do you think that's going to be tonight? The team up 3-0, who's on the road, who pretty much has the series wrapped up, or the team with their back against the wall, who's at the house? And in my opinion, I prefer to have my money on a team with their back against the wall at the house. So lean towards the Mavs if I'm picking a side. As far as where I prefer to have my money, Klay Thompson, he's been pretty good over his, I think it's rebounds and assist number. It's gone up from 6.5 to 7.5, but he's hit that every game this series. He's hit it 6 of the last 7 games. And I just one of those plays you got to ride until it stops. As far as the total, when the Mavs play at the house, all year long, they've been an under team. What is it now? 70.8% unders at the house for the Mavericks. And in the playoffs, their games are only averaging close to 200.6 points per game. So I think they'll play a little bit of a slower pace. Elimination games, I think both teams ratchet up the defense. And I think you get under this 215.5 number. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mavs unders have been money at home all season.
So we saw Golden State take a 3-0 series lead on Dallas and then lose a game 4. We saw Golden State take a 3-2 series lead a 3-1 series lead against Memphis and then lose game 5, both of those road contests. Is that a big piece of the equation for you in thinking that Dallas is live tonight, or is this just simple human nature? Golden State a little bit fat and happy, Dallas a little bit angry and hungry.
Absolutely. The only reason I can think to back Dallas here would be just a spot situation, similar to probably why you saw myself and a lot of others back in Dallas in the previous game, because it's where you have to come out and play. Whereas you've seen multiple times, like you mentioned, Warriors can sleepwalk when they think they have the series wrapped up. So that's the only reason, I could get behind the Mavs bet today, and still I don't have it in my pocket. So I prefer that Klay prop or the under.
And last question for you, Skee. One more follow-up here. You talked about some of the future prizes. You've been incredible at putting futures together for your clients, for yourself. You've got just about every team still standing, which is a pretty nice position to be in. Dallas is now the chalk to win the title because they've taken over the series against Dallas in a way that Boston or Miami hasn't. But would you make the Warriors significant favorites over either the Celtics or the Heat in the finals, or would you make that series, in theory, a little bit closer to pick them?
Okay, this is what I'll say. And I haven't even given this any extended thought. It's just really off of your question. Okay, in general, all year long in basketball, I'm a big believer in rest advantage. You're going to have a Warriors team who most likely is going to be sitting at home for almost a week, going up against a team who, if it's Boston, they just had to battle out, a 7-game series and might have another one here. And Miami, they're already banged up and they're going to be going through this crazy series. So I think, it's a clear advantage for Golden State with that rest advantage. So in game one, I'm pretty sure that's the side I'll be looking towards unless there's a crazy number. Just thinking about it, who has the home advantage? I think it would be Miami Heat if they made it. But if the Warriors made it, maybe they have it. But if the Warriors have home advantage too, they don't lose at the house. And with the rest advantage, they are more than capable of winning one on the road. So I do think the Warriors are the clear-cut favorite. But like you mentioned, I don't have to put my money on anything because I've already done that work and I have good prices everywhere.
Skee Profit, everyone. Outstanding work, Skee. One baseball bet real quick. No follow-up from Teddy. What do you like on the baseball card?
Well, another baseball game besides the Marlins game, I'll go the Giants. And it's just pretty simple. It's another one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Anytime you see Logan Webb out there at the house, you bet him. He's won 18 of the last 19. Even if he doesn't have a very strong pitching performance, those guys hit for him. So until he loses 2 in a row at home, I will be on that play every single time.
Let me ask you this real quick, Skee, because I'm not supposed to have a follow-up question here, but I do anyway. The Mets are on fire, okay? The Mets are one of these teams that I'm not in any rush to step in front of. I understand Webb's long-term track record, but right now, New York has been making everybody money and killing everyone that's trying to step in front of them. Does that concern you in this matchup, especially given the price here with the Giants as chalk?
Yes. I would be lying if I say it doesn't. I think out of all sports, baseball is probably the most, or the streakiest sport. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. So if they're hot, I really hate to jump in the way. But at the same time, Teddy, so what I would say is, if you haven't been like me, if you haven't been backing Logan Webb time after time, maybe you don't want to jump in today. But for a guy like me, I got to ride it till it's over. So I woke up, I see Logan Webb on the mound, I put it in my pocket. That's how it is for me at this point.
Yeah. Don't overthink it, my brother. Anyway, Skee Profit, everyone. $2 Tuesday handicapper over at WagerTalk.com. His first ever 5% WNBA play. And he knows WNBA like I know white t-shirts and biceps. Anyway, Skee, get out of here, man. Teddy, get ready. We got your big game breakdown coming. I also want to talk about house money with you. It's a concept I want to talk about for a few minutes. We'll do that after your big game breakdown segment. Carmine Bianco, 2 NHL games. Lots more shows. Stay with us, everyone.
Teddy Covers is 94-44, cashing 68% of his tickets since 2001 with his famed Teddy Covers NFL win totals report, a 20-year track record of success. In addition, Teddy is 15-3, 83% winners with his 5% big ticket plays, cashing with the Chicago Bears under last season as his 5% big ticket best bet. This package includes each NFL season over-under bet with the type of detailed analysis you expect from Teddy, primed to pay dividends all season long. Get on board for the low price of $199, or better yet, the support is 100% free for Teddy's full season football combo or NFL seasonal subscribers. Documented over 55% over the last 7 full seasons, counting every play, every day. Get on board with this proven profit producer and cash in.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's go to San Diego for a little MLB action tonight and talk about the Brewers and the Padres. 26-16 Milwaukee, 28-14 San Diego, 2 pretty darn good teams. Right now, look at the WagerTalk Live odds screen. I'm seeing the Brewers as road favorite. Let's call it minus 130, total 6.5 to the over. So the betting marks are telling us that the Brewers with Burns on the hill have not just an edge, a legitimate edge, a big edge over the 28-14 Padres. And Burns is an ace. I get it. Dominant all year. But Burns is coming off a high pitch count game and started 8 games this year. The Brewers are 4-4 in those 8 starts. He's lost at minus 170, minus 180, minus 230, minus 105. And the Brewers' full season record, right? 26-16, only 2 games behind the Padres. That record is lying right now. Okay. Strength of schedule. We don't talk about it enough. Milwaukee has feasted on the weak in early season play. Of their 42 games, 36 of them have come against opponents that are below 500 right now, teams with a losing record. They only played 6 games all year against opponents with a winning record, and they're all 5 of them coming at home prior to last night. And they're 2-4 in those 6 games, 333% baseball. All right. They scored 2 runs last night, twice the bases loaded, nobody out, and didn't score. Almost happened 3 times, but they did get 1 2-out hit, 1 clutch hit. But this is not a team that's hitting the cover out, tearing the cover off the ball offensively right now. The Padres have won 5 straight, 8 of their last 10. The starting pitching matchup favors Milwaukee. So what? Padres are the better, the hotter, and the more battle-tested team. Oh, and we're getting a plus price? Count me in. Give me San Diego, plus 120. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
San Diego is yours, Teddy. Listen, we normally have 3 guests on, as everybody knows. Today we have 2. Dave Sherapan was a late scratch, couldn't get a 3rd guest. So it gives us a little bit of breathing room, Teddy, to actually talk. Anyway, house money, Teddy. I want to discuss this because it's something we hear about all the time. We hear about it in poker. Oh, I won a hand that I shouldn't have won. Now I have 3 times the money, therefore. We hear it at the blackjack table. We hear it in sports betting. To me, it is one of, if not the biggest mistake that amateur bettors make. There is absolutely no such thing as house money. The very concept makes no sense. If your employer gives you a bonus at the end of the year, that is not a house bonus. That is money that you earned that you put in the bank. If you make a bet and miraculously it wins out of the blue, over 3.5 runs in the Pittsburgh team total a few nights ago, and it cashes, that's not house money. That's your money. Put it in the bank. What people tend to do is they think, I'm on a free roll. I'm on a free roll, so I'll up my bets. I will bet out of system. I won a bet I thought I was going to lose. Oh, I accidentally put a parlay in that wasn't a parlay, and it won, therefore I have extra money. No. Money is money. It doesn't matter how you make it. It doesn't matter how you get it. The second it is in your hand, it is no longer house money. It is money that you have. So don't use the concept of house money to up your bets or to step out, make extra bets in a night. Treat every cent that you have as yours, and it'll prevent you from making stupid bets that you don't normally make because you think you are free rolling when you aren't free rolling because the money is already yours. Teddy, you want to add to this at all?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll add to it. Explain then, Mr. Prez. Explain your rollover concept, what you're trying to do with your presidential address. Because to me, that is you're preaching one thing and then and then doing the exact opposite. Because when you're free rolling, if you won yesterday, you've just doubled your wager from the day before or tripled it or whatever it is from the beginning of the week. And it sounds to me like you're just speaking both sides of the same coin. Don't do this, but we're going to do this.
Oh, no.
Explain the difference.
And I'm you know what? I'm glad you asked that question. Funny, Chris L. Teddy's about to disagree. Really, Chris? I mean, you don't watch this show? Teddy, in my rollover concept, the bottom line is that I'm trying to get people to stop making parlays. So instead of making a parlay, if you want to enjoy that action, that rush of, 6x on your money, here's a better program to do. A rollover program that pays closer to true odds than a parlay. Number one. Number two, I told everybody to take $20 on Monday and try roll it through Friday. And if they lose, which we lost yesterday, we stop for the week. I bet a shit ton more than $20 on a play. So this $20 that I'm doing, that's tip money, dude. That's tip money.
You're trying to create, trying to put together a 5-teamer, okay, over 5 days. It's you put together a 5-teamer that is paying true odds as opposed to the odds you're going to get from the books.
Right.
But either way, doing it with your rollover on Thursday, all right, for the last bet, your bet's 10 times the size of your original bet.
Correct. But that's only because we've committed to doing a 5-team parlay over 5 days, trying to get true odds. So we've committed to doing that. If I then take those 5 games, let's say I win all 5. If I then go, oh, you know what? I'm on a roll and I really love this play on day 6. If I then take it all and stick it on day 6, that would be a mistake. We have committed to 5 days and we're doing it for fun, starting with $20. What I don't want to see people do is have this concept of, I won. I had a monster night last night and it should never have happened. Therefore, I have house money. The term house money, if somebody walks up to you on the street and hands you $1 million randomly, that $1 million isn't house money. That $1 million is yours. Put it in the freaking bank. Be responsible. That's what we're talking about. As for one of our listeners who made a semi-astute comment with blackjack, how people, it's a thing with blackjack. You feel like you're on a heater. You up. You start thinking you have house money. Listen, there is a big difference between sitting at the blackjack table and say playing $25 on a hand, and when you win, you make it 30, and when you win, you make it 35. There is a big difference between doing that and taking your 25 and making it 300 once you've won 4 hands in a row or something. So there is times to slowly increase your bet, which is why we bet on units per unit. Anyway, we're going on.
So far,
too long.
The presidential address has cost for last week and for this week. We'll see where it is at the end of summer. And I'm grading you, Prez. Let's see how many 5-teamers we hit over the summer. Over, under. So
notice, people,
0.5.
I do not grade Teddy on his big game breakdown, but Teddy's always looking to piss on the Prez. That's what happens when you're jealous. Carmine Bianco, anything to add to this conversation?
Is worth the same as 2 in a bush, man, or sometimes more. Listen, once I have it, I don't want to give it up. I don't want to roll it over. So I think, you know what I used to do back in the day, Teddy, when I was much younger and I wanted to play in the World Series of Poker, I would try and win 7 consecutive rollover bets, starting with $100. And if you won your 7th bet, you won $12,800, assuming even money, and rolling it over. And I said, the minute I do it, I'm going to register for the main event. And I never registered for the main event because I never did it. Winning 7 in a row it is so tough. So
Carm, that's the other concept, right? Like, to me, if you can't afford to play in the main event and you are rolling over $100 to get to $12,000, wouldn't the most effective strategy be to put the $12,000 in the bank? Why all of a sudden can you afford to play the main event? Because you have what you consider to be a free 12 grand. It ain't free. It's yours. You need it.
That's absolutely correct. At the point where you cash out and you have your 12-8, you are now buying into the main event for 12-8 of your own money. You're not buying it in for 100. Right. You can look at it that it only costs you 100. It's actually costing you, the 10K, which, in US or Canadian funds is about 12.5 or whatever. But with that said, I'm always looking at, and we're going to get to it in a second, but at my future bets at WagerTalk. If you look at my future bets over the last 3 or 4 years in soccer for my clients, I've always given them an option to hedge out and make money. Last year, I came on your show before the knockout stages of the Champions League, and I gave out Chelsea 20-1 to win Champions League. I gave people an option of hedging out in the final last year. They went on to win it, and if you wrote it out, you cashed out 20-1. In this year's Champions League, which happens on Saturday, I gave out at the beginning of the knockout stages Real Madrid 18-1, and then after they lost the first game, I came back at 33-1, and they are now in the finals, and I've given people an option of betting Liverpool, and they can just watch the game, and they're guaranteed plus 600 on their money regardless of the result. 2018, the World Cup, the last World Cup. Croatia, 40-1, Lawrence. They made the final along with France, and it's about getting the team there and then guaranteeing yourself a profit, and then that profit goes into your bank account and it's yours.
Yes, sir. Carmine Bianco, dude. We got a hard stop in 8 minutes. I went on a ramble. It's true. Carolina and New York Rangers 2-1 in the series. Carm, the original line was 5 for the total, and I was really, really looking strongly at the over there. It's 5.5 now. I still think we're going to get a semi-high scoring game tonight. How are you betting this?
Yeah, going into Sunday's game, I actually played the over on Sunday at plus money, at plus 5.5. At 5.5 over at plus money, because there was good data on Carolina on the road, and all 3 games in Boston went over the total. And you go back to even last year when they played Nashville and Tampa Bay. And their road games on the road, I think it was 7 of their last 8 games on the road in the playoffs have gone over the total. And I felt like a genius 28 minutes into that game. It was 2-1 Rangers. The game pace was absolutely back and forth. Carolina had 35 shots through 2 periods in that game. And it just felt like that game was going over the total. And then it finishes 3-1 with the last goal being an empty netter. And I felt like an absolute idiot afterwards for taking the over with 2 teams that have been playing fantastic defensively and 2 very good goalies, Ranta and Shesterkin. Shesterkin's looked every bit the Vezina Trophy winner that he is in this series, and yet I still feel like this game could go over the total again tonight. I think if we get the same pace and we get some, and he doesn't stand on his head, we see some goals. I think Carolina's the better team here. I think they eventually win this series. They're great on home ice. They haven't lost a game yet. They're 6-0 on home ice, and if this does come down to a game 7 on home ice, they get it done. But I like Carolina here with a slight lean to the over.
Edmonton has a 2-1 series lead over Calgary. They're short home favorites tonight in the minus 115, minus 120 range. Total sitting at 6.5. A little bit of juice to the under. What do we do with Edmonton and Calgary? Crucial game for the season.
It is. It's a very crucial game for Calgary. They were in a similar position in the last round in Dallas for Game 4, having lost 2 straight games after winning the opener, and they didn't want to go back home down 3-1. I don't think they want to go down 3-1 in this one. They won that game, and they won it in convincing fashion, albeit the 4-1 scoreline. You wouldn't think it, but it was a pretty dominating performance. Coming into the series, Teddy, everyone talked about, including myself, can Mike Smith win a series in goal for the Edmonton Oilers? And maybe they should be talking about Markstrom, because he's allowed 15 goals in 3 games in this series, and he hasn't even finished all 3 games. He came out in the last game after they were down 4-0 in Game 3, and they went to Vidar for that 3rd period. He hasn't been good, but to a man, the team in the media are talking about how they've hung him out to dry, and they have. They haven't played the Flames haven't played very good defense at all in this series. Even going back to the game that they won 9-6, the opener, he allowed 6 goals on 28 shots in that one. I think he's going to be much better. I think they play a much better defensive game in the same way in which I like the under in Game 3. I'm leaning under here. It was 7 in that one, and now they've gone back to the 6.5. And it's still, as far as the market goes, that they're still shading it juice-wise to the under. I think we see a much better defensive performance by Calgary. It's funny because I talked about on Puck Time earlier today. I talked about instant karma, and the Flames to Chuck. He actually chirped during the game, and I don't think you should ever do this. Talk about someone's personal finances, or you talk about their family. And he talked to Evander Kane in Game 2 about, hey, I heard you're broke. I'll lend you some money if you need it. And what did Kane do? He scores a natural hat trick in Game 3 and dishes back a little instant karma in that one. Kind of like what we saw with Nazem Kadri and all the hate he's gotten on social media and threats on his life. And he responds with a hat trick last night, a little instant karma there as well. With that said, I like the Flames tonight. I think this game stays under the total.
Carmine Bianco, before we let you go real quick, Colorado Avalanche plus 140 to win it all. Everybody knows how high I am, but man, Edmonton Oilers are plus 900, and I really feel like whoever's coming out of that conference is going to win it. Do you see any value in Edmonton at plus 900 to win the whole thing?
Yeah, they've got to get by this one, but if you take I think that number actually goes up a little higher if they lose tonight's game, and this series shifts back to Calgary with Calgary having home ice. So I think you sit on it. If you like the Flames tonight, you sit on that, and then you take the Oilers because they'll probably be about plus 1,000, plus 1,100. I actually feel that a team that comes out of the East is going to win the Stanley Cup. I get it. Colorado has a ton of talent, but the talent level of teams in the West compared to the East, I think, had better teams throughout the season. All 8 playoff teams had 100 points or more, and I think they're just going to be battle tested by the time we get to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. I mean, on a whole, the East is so much deeper than the West, but I don't see Tampa Bay, Carolina, or the Rangers beating Colorado. Carmine Bianco, everyone. Carm, thanks, brother. Real pleasure. We'll see you on Puck Time tomorrow. Daniel's son, cue it up. All right, it's the Daily Presidential Address. Guys, the rollover program, done for the week. Lost my play yesterday, and as I told everybody, we are only doing it one time a week. So keep a running tab. We have lost 2 weeks now. That's $40. I told everybody I'm going to start with a $20 bankroll, so that's $40 gone. As for your 2 bets today, first let's talk hockey. I like the Rangers in Carolina today to go over the total of 5.5. Look, every game, all 3 games so far have gone under. Before that, though, the Rangers, Pittsburgh over the total. Boston and Carolina went over the total. Both goaltenders are playing outstanding, but I do think we'll see a 7-goal game tonight. So take over the total. And I like the Blue Jays tonight. Bad luck loss, not bad luck, but shitty loss last night. But if I can get Gausman on the mound for a fairly short price, I will take it. Minus 135, take the Toronto Blue Jays. Teddy, brother, I'm having a veal sandwich today. Take us home.
Sure, that's going to wrap it for the Tuesday edition of WagerTalk Today. We'll do it again tomorrow, same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. I want to thank Skee Profit. I want to thank Carmine Bianco, and I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us. We'll do it again tomorrow. Between now and then, enjoy the games and good luck.
Stop. Don't buy that picks package or All Access. Wait, what? Yep, don't click add to cart until you check out our new deals page at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can find all the latest offers, promotions, and coupons available all in one place. These deals are updated daily and can be found by clicking deals in the nav at WagerTalk or Sports Memo, going to wt.buzz/deals, or scanning the QR code on your screen.